are green, ladies and gentlemen. You missed the first half of a lap, but we are coming across the line. Welcome to a little bit of an odd broadcast we're going to have. There was major issues on SDK's part where we were not able to have overlays, camera control. Luckily, we found a workaround. We got some old freaky fast broadcasting tickers, as you can see on screen. And lap number 1 is going to be led by Benjamin Nelson in that of the 79 machine. 40 drivers this evening have registered into race, and everyone staying side by side for now. Cannot believe that's a new season. Season 7 is upon us for the WSSR Roasted Gems Cup Series. This is the first race of the season, 40 drivers, and we had even more that officially registered, but they were not able to make it to this race. Tons of racing action. Adamans even announced to the field, this is the biggest field they probably have ever had. It's a pleasure to have all the coverage here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Thank you for joining with us. My name is Sam Dyer. Thank you as well for being patient with us trying to get this broadcast rolling. Robert Moyer will be joining with me later on, as big kudos to Robert for getting this all fixed and settled for us to have a broadcast. This was very last minute. Everything just crashed for lots of different broadcasters. We're proud to have the action on screen. Now leading the way on the outside, it's the 11 of John Forbes. Plenty of new faces. If you've been watching the WSSR, a lot of these drivers you may not have seen, but if you've been watching us on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, this is a merger of a lot of different leagues wanting to test their skills in the WSSR. We got John Forbes from the ISRC Truck Series on Monday nights. Benjamin Nelson, a former Coca-Cola series, technically was the peak antifreeze series back in the day. We also have Nick Crawford, who's back, who hasn't been here in a couple of seasons, and many of other drivers from other leagues that we've covered here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, and it's great to see them on track and racing. 4 laps in of 100. Got a lot of racing to give you this evening, as there will be a competition caution for these drivers at the end of lap 30 if there's no yellow before lap 30. Just to give a little bit of a reset period for the field. But as everyone takes a deep breath, calms in, thank you for everyone that has been with us patiently in the chat again, as these drivers all trying to find where they're going to feel the most comfortable. Seeing already our top about 12 staying up front, wanting to stay side by side. A little bit of different thoughts though deeper in the field, as everyone's trying to pick and choose. These cars, they are the Gen 4 Cup cars. They've got a lot of horsepower, but bump drafting is going to be the key to watch out for tonight's race. The Daytona Bump and Run 250 presented by Lids. Lids Hatswear. Go get your custom hats today at Lids. They are also tonight offering a free hat to one of the drivers that they can completely customize. And also for a lot of these drivers, of the 40, there are 29 part of a crown jewel event, where if they are the highest finisher of those drivers, they can be grabbing $165. We'll give updates on who those drivers are later on. As up front, you're seeing the battle of the two. Benjamin Nelson on the inside with Nick Crawford behind him, just muscling their way to stay up front. But John Forbes, too many drivers on the outside, able to move forward with his other ISRC driver of Danny Cochran in the 2 on the outside, working as one. Ross Tatum in the 21, and we've seen win championships in other leagues, all powering their way forward, as this field still trying to find where they're going to feel the most comfortable and bouncing it to the outside. It's the Lids machine of Christopher Norris, and he's gotten all the situations we're hoping fixed on the broadcast. Let's get him in the booth. Robert Moyer, how are you feeling, man?
I'm not feeling good. Well, to be honest with you, I'm excited for tonight's event here, as you were getting these guys hyped and everything. Big field here at Daytona, opening of season number 7. Yeah, as you were saying there, Sam, and everybody knows there is some technical problems going around the world right now, unfortunately, but you know, we got it up in the last minute, so hopefully I can sit back and enjoy this content just like everybody else is out there, as we're watching the field here go down through with Benjamin. We got John Forbes. We got a lot of new names out there tonight, and throughout the season that we're going to have to learn who they are, what cars they're running, and some of them even have different, car numbers there, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, different numbers. Thinking of one of them, going to be in the 52 machine, Cody Reed, third car on the inside. Different colors as well. A little bit of pink that we're used to seeing him, as he is a driver that we've seen run here in the WSSR for one race. That was Talladega last season, where he got the pole. I talked to the 52 machine of Cody Reed before this race. He said his ultimate goal is to get the pole, so then he can say, hey, each race I've been a part of, I've gotten the pole. Didn't happen, sadly, but still happy to see those machines out there. Also, you see the 34, that's Ryan Ferraro, another rookie, joining in as riding on board that of the one machine. Brandon Colley qualified 5th for the one. But man, it's wild to see the amount of drivers and also the amount of different schemes with the Gen 4, higher horsepower from the ARCA machines that we've seen in the Stars and Stripes earlier this year. We got to watch, and now we get to see what these drivers are warned. Watch out for the major runs that you can grab, and I think that's why we're seeing everyone kind of settling in side by side here in the early first 9, about to be start of lap 10 of this race.
Oh, most definitely. I agree with you. You have to just pay attention. These are so much different than what we've seen in season 6. We had the next gen cars, and now we're here with the old horsepower vehicles. It's all about throttle control. Now, not granted here tonight at Daytona there, Sam, but we're going to see this throughout the season. The way these cars draft, the way they you have to save the tires, you have to so on and so on. It's such a different beast, but drivers out there love this car. Brings back the old days, and I know I'm excited to see how this season's going to play out. Will Larry come back to back, or will he not defend his championship that he got in season 6 there, which I don't think I don't want to say he can't do it. My thing about that is that the competition level stepped up 3 times more than normal twice. We got a lot of hard drivers in this league. We got Ross Tatum. Who else we got there? We got Ken Campbell, Cedric Hunter, that's always been here. We got Andrew Medlin. Steven Stempion's now finally out here running there in the 8 machine. So we got a lot of drivers out there that can give Larry a run for his money.
I think one of the bigger ones to watch out for has to be the 79 of Benjamin Nelson, who's up front currently in 3rd place. I mean, I think he might be one of the big favorites to challenge that 67 of Larry Yingling, who is a 3-time champion of the WSSR Rosa Gems Cup Series, champion of season 2, 3 when he first went back-to-back, and then moved away as a 67 from racing. He decided to run take a step away from just running in general for about almost 2 years, came back last season to clinch another championship, and now trying to go for his 4th championship potentially. As see some other drivers further back, 40 drivers, Robert. There's a lot of competition to watch out for. And up front, they're keeping it very aggressive. As you saw that shot, everyone else in the back half staying in line, just trying to give each other plenty of space.
Yep, and that's the key here. I thought, we'd have some pushing and banging, but you also know with these vehicles here, Sam, you can't be pushing and you can't be banging because you get that front end lifted up underneath, as we got Ross blinking there a little bit in that McCone setup shop machine. But, we have to watch the draft. You don't want to get up. And now going down the backstretch, yeah, you can push. But you got to be very careful with that, because if you push too hard, you can literally lift the car in front of you off, which will take the tires off the ground, and then that car in front of you is free riding. Basically, you're controlling that vehicle then in front, and 9 out of 10, it turns out bad. So you can see these guys know it's a 100-lap race. We're only on lap number 7, and just take it easy right now, because I know we do got a stage break coming up, I do believe, correct?
Yeah, we will have, it's going to be called a competition caution for these drivers. There are no stage points to be grabbed. They have taken that system away. Instead, it will just be a caution that's going to reset these drivers, bring everyone back together. If there's any issues, that competition caution is going to be at the end of lap 30, unless, this is where things get a little bit tricky. If there's a caution before lap 30, that will count as the competition caution. So they're just hoping to have at least just one yellow to bring everyone back so they can learn and move on to the rest of the race.
Correct. Yes, and to answer that question out there, Stempian's dad there, yes, they do got one fast repair at a super speedway. So that's all you get, though. So you got to be very careful with right now as we're watching John Forbes up here with Danny Cochran on the outside there and that Hot Threads new machine that he just opened up his business with. But we'll hit on sponsors a little bit later on here tonight. It's going to be a little bit different, ladies and gentlemen. You see the old time ticker. This is back in 2008, Sam, is what, no. Let me rephrase that. 2018 is the last time we used this ticker.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure. I remember Freaky Fast Broadcasting being the thing back in 2008, but 2018 makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Looking back at the history books.
I just wanted to take that one off, just make it sound as older, right?
Yeah. Trying to make sure that the legacy continues on as long as we can.
Right. There you go.
As these drivers up front actually starting to catch up to a driver that lost touch to the draft. As we're getting aggressive of Danny Cochran bouncing to the inside in front of John Forbes. Now going to have Ross Tatum leading the outside lane with Christopher Norris behind him. Watch out on the outside. It's going to be the 08 of Brian with an I Johnson. There's actually two Brian Johnsons that's going to be out on track as they go 3 wide, getting by the lap car, staying high close up to the outside wall. Much more comfortable for the rest of the field to stay low, give each other space to get by a lap car can be difficult. If you're not aware of a driver in front of you that you need to squeeze to get by, but luckily smooth sailing for the majority of the field. But Robert, I gotta say that again, the amount of names that we're gonna be seeing here tonight, that honestly, this feels like one of our charity events with the amount of drivers that we usually see running in their own separate leagues, all coming together for Wednesday nights. New day, new car, and WSSR as well, partnering up with Trophy Smack. Trophy Smack has been the trophy maker for WSSR the last 3 seasons, for WSSR, and they have been giving away rings for the championship driver. Well, this season, drivers are actually going to get a full-blown custom trophy for their winning of this championship. They're excited for it.
I know I would be. Get a trophy to be able to put it in the back when we have our podcast, which we still have, ladies and gentlemen. There will be some episodes coming out here very shortly. Sam will eventually be getting worked on that again as we're getting back into the full swing of things here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting with you got the Monday night guys. You got Tuesday night starting up next week. You have Wednesday night with the season opener here for the next couple, weeks here. A couple months actually, and then we also got Thursday night starting, so you're going to be able to have a lot of racing here at Freaky Fast again, Sam. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday, Saturday, and Sundays we are off right now, and we plan on taking that time to get better content and different things like that. But right now, you can see the fastest lap of the race right now here was a 44.313 by Nolan Hicks on lap number 6. A total of 7 lead changes on lap with 10 laps in the books, 19 laps in the books right now.
And Robert, I think the one thing that's going to be making it fun, I know usually you're producing, you're in our ear telling us about who's bringing down the fastest lap. Well, in the WSSR, that is a meaningful point to be pointing out because drivers get a bonus point for having the fastest lap of the race. It's called the Rocket Man Award. 1 free bonus point to be grabbed if you put down the fastest lap of the race. Nice.
Wow, no, that's an incentive there, and that can go a long way. We've seen in the past here at Freaky Fast, 1 point means a lot, tie means a lot, people get bumped in and out. We've seen it on Monday night, with Christopher Norris actually happening, making it into the playoffs. So that 1 point could come down to it is get that fastest lap here as we're watching the pack here. I got to say, 20 laps into this book so far here, Sam, and it's been a pleasure watching these guys out here. It's just very clean racing, very respectful right now. There's no bumping, there's no banging. There's just teammates working with teammates and just riding. I mean, you got to give it props to a big field like this. Normally, you can see a lot of carnage right away.
Oh, absolutely. And, we've seen this on Monday night when their new season has come around. Is the fact that some drivers, they're going to have a couple of different mindsets. Some might come into Daytona. It's a wild card race. Anyone has a chance to win, where you could be racing very aggressive from the drop of the green to the very end of the race and just want to be up front racing as aggressively as you can. The rest of the field, though, tonight seems to be deciding, let's just keep it calm. Still a long race, 100 laps. It's a lot of racing. Like you noted on earlier, we got one faster pair. They have 5 extra sets of tires in pit road to work with. And fuel, not something that they're going to be worrying about at the competition caution, as the fuel run's going to be about 45 laps. So you don't need to worry until after the competition caution, which is going to be at the end of lap 30, which we're aiming closer and closer to. The main thing that you're looking for is track position. Do you want to be further up once that competition yellow comes out, or do you want to be further back?
Oh, that's it. You want to be farther up or farther back? I think, yeah, of course, at Daytona, I don't think it really matters too much, but maybe it does, Sam. You guys call races more than I do. I just do the background stuff. But we're watching right here. Another driver that is going to be pretty strong here in this season is that number 9 machine there, Sam. And you know a little bit more about this driver.
Yeah, that is the 9 machine of Shane Tarian joining in with this league. Was looking for a Gen 4 league to run with. I talk with Shane pretty regularly, just trying to get his thoughts on how he wanted to run this season. And what makes the 9 machine probably one of the more interesting drivers of everyone out on track, he runs with a controller. Yes, iRacing allows to run with a controller. Most people feel a lot more comfortable with the steering wheel, but with the controller, you are always on the joystick trying to fine-tune where your finger placement's going to be. And this 9 certainly going with a risky approach, but he can be fast and puts in the time and the effort to be one of the top contenders to watch out for this season.
Oh, I do believe, and I'm still mind-blown that he can race on a controller like that. I'd be all over the place. I just watched Anthony Alfredo over there on Twitter the other, I believe today, trying to do it on the controller at Watkins Glen, and he bounced off the wall about 6 times.
Yeah, it is very difficult. I did about a month of trying to run on iRacing with the controller. I gave up. It was just too difficult. I kept on wrecking, and I just felt lack of control. But hey, there's some people out there where they start on a controller, they learn, they grow, and that's where they feel the most comfortable. And it's crazy to see the different amount of drivers that we've seen actually run well, that you learn after the fact that they were on a controller, and you're like, you look just as smooth as someone that was running with the steering wheel, but still running fast and quick, and expecting big things from the 9, as well as plenty of the other drivers that are out in this field. And surprisingly, one of the drivers that's not up front, Larry Yingling, last season's champion, Pierre Robert, he's all the way back, just hanging out with his teammates. Going to be with James Heater as well as Devin Brook, and these drivers deciding we're just going to relax in the back half of the field and wait for the competition caution, wait for the end of this race before they want to make their push to be up front, as the rest of the field stays side by side.
Yeah, it's looking like it back here, just hanging out in the back here with your teammates. And that's the other thing we got to get used to this season here is different teams, different team names, different drivers on teams, free agents being picked up on teams. And, there's a team aspect here too, on points and prizes up. But you know what? The other thing that there's 2 things that we need to talk about here. Tonight is a Crown Jewels race here, Sam.
That it is. Crown Jewel race. There were drivers that were incentivized. Hey, if you want to race and be a part of a Crown Jewel event, such as Daytona can be, hey, donate just $5. 29 drivers that donated $5, and top 3 finishers of all those that donated to be a part of this Crown Jewel event are going to be earning cash, with first place going to get $123, second place gets $24, and third gets $16. A very steep fall off if you're not that first driver. And drivers up front, they want to be the first. We're 3 wide for the lead. We're actually 3 wide for the first 3 rows of drivers trying to get aggressive.
Not
as
safe.
we got 5 laps left in this call it stage, this first 30-lap run for our competition caution. They want the track position right now.
Well, that's it too there, Sam. Like you said, stage points, you got to open up the season strong, and because you can have a dismal next 1, 2, 3, 4 races, moving forward. So any kind of points that you can get at Daytona will help you in the long run. In any race, but just especially here, you really want to start your season off strong. If you don't get the win, which we're all going for. They are out there. But if you don't get it, you still want to start strong. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about and point out that we miss, our qualifying grid, brought to you by Brandon Colley and the number one's mom. Thank you for being a qualifying grid sponsor again this season. We do much appreciate it. WSSR does appreciate it, but we overall, thank you again for coming on for season number 7. And if you're out there on chat, don't forget to talk up with your friends. Hit the chat button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that share button, ladies and gentlemen. It goes a long way for WSSR and Freaky Fast Broadcasting.
Yeah, and a huge shout out to Colley's mom for sponsoring, and all these sponsors that come out. Roasted Gems coming back for another season for WSSR, and Trophy Smack being one of the main sponsors. Both incredible sponsors to have. And if you'd like to go purchase some of the incredible items you can get from Roasted Gems coffee or from Trophy Smack, easy to grab for Roasted Gems. Go head over to roastedgems.com. They got a wide range of great flavors of coffee, also great merch, and just use the promo code WSSR for 5% off on your next purchase. And for Trophy Smack, if you want to be the envy of your competition, go get yourself a great quality trophy or championship ring, belt, plenty of different customizable items to be grabbed. As we're having some slight issues for the drivers, Ross Tatum blinked out for a second. You saw him, a lot of sparks flying. Robert, update for the 21. He actually just sent the vehicle up in the outside wall to get out of the way for everyone else.
Well,
and he could be just throwing away his race immediately because of how bad his internet got there. That's an issue he's had on Thursday and Tuesday nights. It continued to melt down there, and a little bit of a scare for other drivers deeper in the pack. But the 21 is out of the way, but is highly off the pace, and could be calling it a night after that mistake that popped up. As we're coming to the end of this competition, caution lap, and oh no, right front, bad bump into John Forbes, and up into the field, the big one strikes, and everyone scatters off the exit of turn 4, and only 5, 6, maybe 10 drivers make it through of the 40.
Wow. Major bump, wrong bump at the wrong time there, Sam, on the exit, and it's like you said, it just put the whole field in a scatter mode.
And this was something that was, we talked about, the rear ends, easy to lift up and cause an accident, and a heavy pressured moment, and bad bumps collecting multiple drivers on this incident. And a wreck like that, scattering some drivers, and luckily for some, they do have their fast repair. Everyone in the field has one fast repair to work with, so your race is not completely over as we try to get the instant replay up for you. We do have a total of 4 drivers with required damage that are going to have to go into pit road, and that is Cole Sacchetti, Ryan Ferraro, Nick Crawford, and Ollie Fonseca, all going to be having to come into pit road and use their fast repair. Now, this doesn't mean your race is over, but it certainly is going to be hampering your chances of wanting to be up front. Right when we were coming to the competition yellow, that again, there were no bonus points to be grabbed for that being up front, the competition yellow. You were just hoping for great track position, and the overzealous driving brings out our first caution of the day. As we again are getting the replay up, it was all on the contact between Ryan Ferraro and John Forbes as they were going through the corner in the middle of the field, middle lane. And just a bad bump is the catalyst of bringing out these drivers. A lot of drivers were trying to slow down. Others were still in full throttle motion and getting caught up in the mess. We're over about 20 drivers in total. But the whole entire field expected to come into pit road, get damage repairs, fuel, tires, and get back out there. I think the one driver this really helps out the most is going to be the 21 of Ross Tatum, as he was very much off the pace and off the draft of everyone else. But everyone comes into pit road, getting 4 tires and fuel to get themselves situated. Again, we want to apologize. We may or may not be able to get replays because of the fact that the SDK program that we use is not working properly. That was our program that we'd use to go back and get replays, and currently we are having issues to go back and find the replays. So We are apologizing now for not being able to maybe show the replays like we would want, but there were over about 20 drivers that were caught up in that mess that had to come into pit road. Currently, that of Jonathan Cogswell used a fast repair, Nick Crawford used a fast repair, Ollie Fonseca used one, and deeper in the field were plenty of others of Ryan Ferraro, and as well expecting to see other drivers such as Steven Stimpy and others have to use their fast repair, but it looks like they're willing to stay in pit road, get that damage repaired manually, and save that fast repair when it's very crucial later on in the race. And Robert, the first big one, no surprise, it's in a high-pressured moment of drivers knowing a caution flag was about to come out.
Oh, most definitely. And I do apologize that I didn't get the replay using SDK. It's the way we do our programming here, Sam. And you did explain that to everybody. So I'll do my best to get replays, everybody. But if it doesn't happen, please bear with me tonight. But yeah, it's coming down. You know, it was like 2 laps to go until lap 30. You know, the stage break was coming up here. And you know, winning the stage and getting points is this, you know, it's another thing. And now a lot of these drivers here had to use their one and only fast repair. So 33 laps of 100 here, Sam, changes your mind aspect how you race, because now you don't want to put yourself into any predicament, you know, out there. You know, put yourself in a bad spot and get wrecked, and then you don't have a fast repair. So, you know, your mind aspect changes a little bit when you don't have that goalie or, you know, fast repair, you know, to lean on, to do a little bit of bold moves here and there every once in a while.
Yeah, taking away that safety net, you could call it, of a fast repair certainly does make things a lot more interesting mentally moving forward. For some drivers, it could have been an accidental thing as well. I think there were some drivers that I was kind of surprised using their fast repairs, such as Ollie Fonseca and Jonathan Cogswell. I thought maybe their damage wasn't as egregious for them to have to use a fast repair, but it could have been easily a factor of accidentally leaving your fast repair checked. That is something that can force drivers, it's in there what they call a black box, where drivers have control to change certain things, and drivers could easily uncheck mark or check mark things as drivers out of pit road. Robert, I know we're messing with little things. What is this?
It's the race off of pit road, ladies and gentlemen. You can see Benjamin had a 13.76 on his pit stop on pit road, from entering pit road, from exiting pit road, from basically cone to cone. He had a 33.04, and you can see all the drivers down there, which you see Danny had a pit stop of a 2.50, but he was on pit road for 41.59 seconds.
Oh, it's okay. We might have missed the replays, but Robert's bringing back old goodies that we used to have at Freaky Fast Broadcast. This was before my era of being a part of the crew, and this is cool to see. But the drivers getting ready. That was the race off of pit road information from Robert, and now it's time for us to get back to green flag race, and the Daytona bump and run presented by Lids 250 is back underway. Benjamin Nelson, Christopher Norris going to be your front two. Christopher Norris drops right down behind the 79. Ollie Fonseca trying to figure out where he wants to place himself, as well as seeing Ricardo Reed, Nick Crawford. It's also the 16 of Joshua Kanata, Danny Cochran, top 7. Great launch for themselves. Everyone else behind, though, a little bit trying to get up to speed with that of Gregory Smith, Brandon Zimmerman, Noah Steele, Christopher Wade, the finish of our top 11. Plenty of different names, but everyone from basically 7th on back staying single file out. And who's going to have the momentum to go to that second lane? We'll have to watch out as this top 6 keeping it side by side.
Top 6 keeping it side by side. And I do believe some of these drivers in the back here, Sam, are probably saying, you know what, I lost my fast repair, which we just noted on. I'm just going to get in line and ride right now. So, you know, we're going to see some drivers push forward and go, because they're still got to make another pit stop yet here before the end of tonight's race. They can't make it all the way, you know, on fuel here. So, you know, we're going to be waiting to see.
Oh, caution.
Caution.
And it's Steven Stimpian looking to be involved in this one, as well as the 15 machine and a couple of other drivers. Actually, they were caught up in the aftermath of what brought out this incident, trying to figure out what exactly happened for these drivers. And it looks to be an incident between Bob Skinner and Shane Terrian that got caught up in a mess, and they slowed down, and drivers were not able to slow down. Steven
Oh.
Stympian piles into the mess between those drivers. And I did miscall Steven Stympian using a fast repair before. He actually still has one
Oh,
to
good.
work with. So the 8, luckily, still in this race to watch out for. But that is our second caution of the day.
Oh boy. Well, thank God that he still has that, that fast repair there. Sam, like you said, most definitely gonna need that one now. As you can see, the front of his vehicle is total. It looks like he's got a broken toe link or something broken there on the left front tire. It is yelling out a little bit there, or yawing out is more or less what you want to call it. But hey, at least he's got a fast repair that he's going to be able to use here. He's just got to creep this thing around here without going a lap down, and it looks like he's going to be able to at least do that part.
Yeah, and Steven Stympian going to be forced into pit road. Like you said, the yawing out and the toe length being broken. It's going to force the 8 machine to require a damage flag. He's trying to keep it straight as best that he can. But the whole entire hood crinkled up, as you can see on screen, and easily visual, as most drivers only able to see what's in their cockpit. So able to, for the 8 to see, all right, I have to go on pit road, and I'm given the required damage flag. Pit stops is where I would like to head. To get this damage repaired, to get back out there on track, as that will be lap 36 for the field. Back to shouting out sponsors, as we were actually right before our comp caution, we were talking about Trophy Smack. If you want to be the envy of your competition, you can find yourselves getting championship belts, rings, trophies, and more. Go to trophysmack.com and use the promo code WSSR Cup. That's WSSR CUP for 10% off on your order, as that is across the whole entire board. Remember to use the promo code when purchasing, as Trophy Smack. It's been amazing to have them officially hopped on board last season after the league was able to group up with Trophy Smack and use them for getting championship rings for our championship drivers. And this season, an actual trophy will be given to the season 7 champion. As the field getting ready to potentially come into pit road, some drivers might think about topping off on fuel. What may not force that is drivers at the time of the competition caution yellow and that first caution, Robert. It has forced these drivers into a one-stop strategy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Could force them into a one-stop strategy. And I guess it all depends, too, here on how many yellows we have. Yellows breathe yellows. I mean, they started out the race pretty decently here. But right now, it's, back-to-back yellows here. So hopefully, as the sun is getting down, we're hitting evening time here. Hopefully, it will calm down here for these drivers.
Yeah, hoping for it to calm down in some fashion for themselves. As we take a look at the weather conditions for the field tonight in the lights, so there shouldn't be too much weather that should be influencing this race too much. Ambient temperature being 72 degrees, track temp 74. Got a little bit of wind, 6 miles per hour, that's been going up and down throughout the night. And those are your small little things to watch out for. Track conditions, I would say, Robert, perfect for some super speedway racing. Plenty of grip to work with, as this field is getting ready for the 1 to go marker. Once space car lights go off, we stack 2 by 2 and get ready to get back to green flag racing. As the pace car lights do click off now, we're about to get ourselves situated for some more racing. Steven Stympian going to be expected to be the next driver to use a fast repair. Update on the 8 machine. He actually just came into pit road, got the damage repaired manually, but he's coming back into pit road right before we go green. We'll see if he'll use his fast repair. Newest driver to the list that has to use a fast repair was actually going to be Cole Sacchetti, that we marked off earlier, but just wanted to confirm on the fact that the 42 has gone with a fast repair for himself. Hey, if you've never been to Daytona, Robert, you've got our track facts up.
Got track facts right here. We're at Daytona International Speedway, a 2.48 mile track here with track turns of 4, of course, and altitude is 36.5 feet above sea level, with the track temperature, again, as we talked about, at 74 degrees there, Sam. So that's a little bit of your track facts here tonight.
That distance of a little bit under 2.5 miles. They always like to just round it up to 2.5 miles. It's a long race for these drivers. Fastest laps being around 44.5 seconds along, and a lot of drivers aiming to get even faster than that. Again, bonus point for being the fastest driver. That's the Rocket Man Award. As the field is stacked up, ready to go, it's going to be Benjamin Nelson, Ollie Fonseca, Christopher Norris, Nick Crawford, Danny Cochran, Cody Reed, Joshua Kanata, Gregory Smith in 8th, Brandon Zimmerman in 9th, Christopher Wade in 10th with Noah Steele, as well as Jonathan Cogswell, that of Nolan Hicks, Ryan Ferraro, Brad Delph, finishing out your top 15. And the pace car pulls off. It's time for us to get back to green flag racing for Benjamin Nelson, leading the way. The 79 found himself qualifying second, and he has been up front for the majority of the night as we are back to green flag racing for the Daytona Bump and Run presented by Lids here tonight as they head down. It's the 79 with the nose ahead.
Nose ahead right now. He's got Christopher Norris here running in 3rd position, pushing him here. So we'll watch what Christopher can do here from good old Pennsylvania here. Started in 10th position, and his lowest is 10th, and his highest was 1st position here right now with the fastest lap of a 44.765. So we'll see what Christopher can do. But that top line right now of Ollie Fonseca is really starting to push forward with Nick Crawford, another driver to keep an eye out on.
The biggest mover of the night. It's the 24 of Ollie Fonseca, up 25 spots, qualified in 26th position. And the 24 running well as he is trying to hold steady on the outside. Inside lane's getting some slight more momentum, but it's Nick Crawford being a lot more gutsier on getting closer to the back bumper of the 24 machine that we right on board with Ollie Fonseca on what it's like to lead here, being on the outside lane, just getting a nose poked as the Mountain Dew. There's 79 of Benjamin Nelson, but as you look back, everyone stacked 2 by 2 through the field. 2
by 2 back through the field. You can see Nick Crawford not giving him no break, pushing him, but now you'll see he backs off just a little bit so he doesn't give him that bump into the turn here on lap number 40 of 100 here at WSSR. Season opener here, brought to you by Roasted Gems Coffee. So thank you for them jumping aboard again here for another season, as this is awesome to watch. 2 by 2 by 2 all the way back through, Sam.
Field trying to stay connected, willing to move forward even more. A couple of other drivers that have been on the move, some of the other big movers. Gregory Smith up 20 positions, Noah Steele up 23, and Jonathan Cogswell up that of 19 spots. All those drivers around 9th, 10th, and 11th. Moving as a group. And that's the more thing that's interesting is when you see a group of drivers that have been moving forward together. It's a pleasure to see, but caution flag is out, and it's the middle of the field scattering through 3 and 4. As you see the front half of the field, that's our top 22 drivers. Everyone else limping their way out of turn 4. Some still in the grass, others trying to move forward. And it's going to be Brian Noel as well as Tyler Dangler, Dakota Moniz, Brandon Colley, all with required damage flags. And are going to have to head into pit road. So we're going to try to get the replay for this one. Does it look to be drivers trying to get aggressive through 3 and 4. And Dakota Moniz seemed to be around the catalyst of this incident as he got a bad bump from the 57 of Thomas Walter. As drivers were trying to check up, there's a bad chain reaction of drivers trying to slow down on the inside lane, and they were not able to do so. As other drivers collected in this, like the list I just rattled off of Brian Noel, Tyler Dangler, Dakota Moniz, Brandon Colley, required damage, Brian Johnson with an eye. But it's Brian with an eye who also has a black flag who's going to have to get that served at some moment. As it was around that of 12 drivers also involved with this incident, trying to get moving forward. But again, for those that are wondering on the instant replays, again, we were having some program issues. If we do not have ourselves able to get the replays because our program is not allowing us to go back and give you the replays, we are apologizing for it. But luckily, it looks like we do. And there's the 57 giving the bad bump to the 5 and the chaos that reigns after the fact.
Oh, I don't know who's in that white car, but they went up over.
Yeah, they went for a ride, and I believe that would be James Kaufman, if I'm correct on that, as that was the 25 that went up and over for that wreck.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, he hit really, really hard. As we'll go back live here, but yeah, wow, what a hit, man. Unfortunately, yeah, he went for a fun little up over top.
For a little bit of a roller coaster, but again, luckily for that James Kaufman did have a required damage. I mean, did have a fast repair to work with if it felt like it was necessary to come into pit road and utilize it. Other drivers joining in the mix of using a fast repair: Bob Skinner in the 82, Brian Noel in the 77, Tyler Dangler in the 19. They had damage they felt like they needed to use their fast repair and utilized it. Same for Thomas Walter, using a fast repair. Dakota Moniz using a fast repair. Brandon Colley, Ken Campbell, and others in pit road still trying to manually get their repairs done. We'll see if they decide to get those repairs fully fixed by just coming into pit road. There's multiple different ways to get your damage repaired. That's sitting in pit road. There's a certain time that you're given of trying to repair your damage that you would have to sit. Sometimes it's for 5 seconds. Sometimes it's for 8 to 35 minutes. As you see here, our top 5 runners and where they're at currently. But another way, using the fast repair instantly fixes your damage. So drivers have to always be thinking, do I want to use my fast repair now, so we're not even at the halfway marker, or later on in the race?
Yeah.
As Robert, certainly, it's been I'm just curious on how you're feeling, the nostalgia of with this blast from the past ticker and graphics package that we're using here tonight.
Well, do you really want to know? I
I
guess
know
so, because you
you're not
asked.
the most happy about it, but it's
Well,
been cool to see it.
no, no, I'm actually just making me feel old. That's all it's making me after sitting back going, oh, what's this button do? Oh, that's cool. I remember that. Oh, hey, look, there's information that we normally don't show. So yeah, it's ATVO has got some good stuff for broadcasting if you know how to configure it and do it, which takes a lot of time consuming to do. But, hey, let us know on social media if you want to see the past or see us start using ATVO that's got more stuff on it. Hit us up on social media, let us know, and maybe I'll take the time and build a theme and eventually roll it out by the end of the year.
Yeah, well, we need time to work on it.
Oh,
Thank
big
you so
time.
much. Again, thank you to everyone that's been patient with us here tonight with using the different camera package. I mean, different graphics package here this evening. We were not sure we were going to have this happen, but big kudos to Robert for hunkering down, quickly getting ATVO and all this graphics up and giving us a blast from the past for this first race, which is kind of fitting, Robert, I would say, for the fact that
Yeah.
we're running the Gen 4 Cup cars. Some drivers running some older schemes, and we get to have some fun showing off what Freaky Fast originally was like.
Well, yeah, most definitely. And here's the other thing about it is that we had something new ready to roll out tonight with the other software from the blast in the past that I've worked on in the past 3 days and had it ready. Unfortunately, didn't get to show it off here tonight, but yeah, it's fitting. There was different things going to be shown on the other side of things if we would have, be able to use it. But hey, this works too. Yeah, granted, the logos don't look right, ladies and gentlemen, and Racing Freak Sim Racing League is no longer a league. That's been long gone since 2019. But we're back green.
We are back green, and if you'd like to see, hopefully it gets fixed by tomorrow. Maybe some of those other new doodads have been working on will be able to be shown tomorrow night as the Stars and Stripes. They get their season opener in the same exact cars you're seeing here, but instead with a different league Thursday nights. It's been a pleasure to cover all the different leagues here on Freaking Fast Broadcasting, and everyone getting back to full swing as that of Benjamin Nelson, Nick Crawford leading the way, Christopher Norris, Cody Reed, drivers that have ran together in other leagues in line. Seems to be the ISRC Truck Series for Monday night, Robert. They're the ones that are feeling the most aggressive, you could say, wanting to be up front, as we're seeing that grouping. All the other drivers that we usually talk about that are favorites to win at this race in past seasons they are really hunkering down deeper in the field and just relaxing, it looks like.
Yeah, that's what. Well, 45 laps into a 100 race, you cannot win it right now, as we all know. So I would have to agree with you there, Sam. Well, as we see a little bit of bump there, the number 34 is going to get loose. To apologize on the car numbers. I trying to figure out who that was. That was Noah Steele, and who was that bumped him?
That was going to be Noah Steele and Ryan Ferraro.
Okay.
A little bit of a hiccup there as Ferraro just backs out of that incident for the 34. 88 continues to move forward as well. Kind of different to see color-wise. 32, that's Zach Hall, as Zach is trying to rebound after a playoff stint that he would like to forget as quickly as possible from last season. Hoping that maybe this season he can find his way to finally get that WSSR championship.
Oh, well, we'll see here. He had a great run last year, and he doubted himself all season, last year. He made it into the playoffs, and unfortunately he didn't win it, but, he pushed himself through with the way the playoffs were set up last year. So he had a good season. Just it all didn't fall for him, but he gave it a shot, though. I mean, Sam, but, Larry was being that smart guy and just outbeat him on strategy.
Zach kind of having some races thrown away, but hey, it's still some great racing we get to watch here this evening as we look deeper in the field. Some drivers to watch out for later on in this race. It's going to be the 12 in the 15. Andrew Medlin, Ken Campbell. We've seen these two drivers at Thursday nights as well as on Tuesday nights run fantastic at super speedways. Ken Campbell, probably one of the best super speedway drivers you could ask for, and Cole Sacchetti, all drivers that we've seen run together in other leagues, they're all packed together. You love to run around drivers that you know how their racing tactics and kind of trends are. So they're sticking together. Are this trio?
And I do believe that they're all on the same team. Correct me if I'm right or wrong.
They are a part of the same team. That is going to be Storm Motorsports. Brandon Colley is joining in with this trio. That is going to be Brandon Colley, Ken Campbell, Cole Sacchetti, and Christopher Wade. Andrew Medlin actually is going to be part of a separate team for himself. But hey, still a grouping of drivers that know their tendencies to run around one another.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah, I agree with you then. We'll have to see how these three, they know how to run around each other, so we'll see how they play it out here as we are getting ready to hit that halfway point here, Sam. So it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, we should really quick hit a commercial break so we can get our bearings together here for the second half tonight's event here at WSSR, here at the season opener, Season 7, here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, but we will be right back after this quick word.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the WSSR Roasted Gems Cup Series. The first race of Season 7 is upon us. It's the Daytona Bump and Run 250 presented by Lids Atwear as drivers have been trying to settle in. We've got a couple of massive wrecks that have put some favorite drivers back in through the field 1, 2, sometimes 3 laps down and trying to recover. Currently, that of Benjamin Nelson leading the charge with that of Nick Crawford, Cody Reed, and Christopher Norris being the top 4. Others trying to still figure out how to move forward through the field. We want to give a huge shout out, though, to some of the amazing sponsors that have helped out and allowed us to be up in the booth calling the WSSR Cup Series. That being Colley's mom for being the qualifying sponsor for these drivers. Always hoping for son of Brandon Colley to have a great qualifying run. Tonight, it was decent. 5th place out of 40 drivers. Not bad of a day for himself. But other sponsors we want to give a huge shout out is Roasted Gems Coffee. Roasted Gems Coffee, premium coffee that you can go grab today. They got plenty of different flavors such as vanilla, cinnamon, and plenty of other maximum caffeine coffee blends that you can get to make sure your day starts out right with some quality coffee. Remember to use promo code WSSR for 5% off. Thank you to Roasted Gems Coffee for being the title sponsor, as well the main sponsor for our trophies, Trophy Smack. Go use the promo code WSSR CUP. That's WSSR Cup. Get 10% off on your next purchase. And we talk about the trophies you can get, championship rings, you can get a belt, you can get a trophy itself. Well, have you heard about Wall Smack? Wall Smack is the way to get yourself showing off some great images. It's a metal plate with a high gloss showing of whatever image you would like. Post it, share it, and get to see it. As it is a magnet, it has a wall mounting system that comes with a magnet that you place to the wall. Place the Wall Smack metal image there and show it off to all of your competition. Thank you to Trophy Smack. Thank you to Roast Gems Coffee and Colley's mom for being a major sponsors here at WSSR. My name is Sam Dyer. Joining me is Robert Moyer Jr. We are past the halfway marker, and Robert, Benjamin Nelson looks to be the major favorite to win here tonight. But the rest of the field starting to show signs of other competition moving forward.
Yeah, right now Benjamin's looking like the favorite to win right now. But like you said, we're going to watch back here as we're with Danny right now on board. And you can see, and now we're going to flip over here to, I'm not sure what car we're flipping to. I do apologize for that. But yeah, you can see right now he's leading the way here. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing here, Sam. Leading the way, you can get pounced on with the rest of the field and, lose it. But right now, it's just starting to look like here, 58 laps into this book, it's starting to look like drivers are starting to, calm down a little bit, as we're going to see right there of the number 1 machine going a couple laps down, unfortunately, it looks like.
Yeah, Brandon Colley came into pit road with 1 to go, was not able to get his fast repair done, and then catch back up to the field. He lost touch the draft, and now is going to be the only driver 1 lap down. So if a caution was to come out, the one who's not involved in that incident, you get the lucky dog and get back onto the lead lap. Currently, Brandon Colley hoping to just attach the tail end of this group and stay running. As we look even further up in the field, currently riding on board with going to be the 88 of Noah Steele. Noah Steele getting to see some familiar drivers around him of the ISRC crew. Seeing a lot of those drivers willing to be up front, defending every position possible. But it's the former Peak Antifreeze driver, Benjamin Nelson, being up front. And getting to see drivers last season, it was seeing Larry Yingling coming back, a former champion. Getting to see Benjamin Nelson running in the WSSR. No, this was a talking point of when were we going to see the 79 in the league? And finally, after being away from racing for a bit in some other leagues, we get to see the 79 out on track, leading the way, and one of the favorite drivers that had a fantastic off-season. The drivers got to have a 4-race off-season of testing out these Gen 4 Cup cars. Robert, I know you got to actually test these cars and run a little bit, have some fun.
Yeah.
But it was the 79 that was probably one of the most dominant drivers of that whole entire season.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, I got to go out there and race with these guys here on their preseason leading up to the season opener. And I can tell you what, It's a handful, and not only that, ladies and gentlemen, it was the first time that I was behind the wheel in 4 years. So I was a baby in the carriage, trying to learn how to drive against all these fast drivers, and I finished 1 out of 3 races, or 1 out of 2 races, or something, whatever. I know I finished 1 race, and that was at Auto Club. Other than that, it was disaster.
I mean, I can say I was watching it. I ran a couple of laps myself and then decided to park it. But watching you out there, you were doing great. You were running with some of the competition
Uh,
out there. I know you had some rivalries with some of the drivers that were running. Tyler Dangler was the biggest one, as that 19 machine is just trying to survive out on track in 19th position. But it was a pleasure watching you run and, doing a lot better than I was expecting, and probably one of the more difficult cars to drive out there as we get to take a look at that Viper machine of gonna be Tyler Dangler. I know, Robert, this was one of your favorite schemes to see
yeah.
him run, and he brought it back with a Gen 4 Cup car.
Yeah, it's a very, very slick looking machine. It's got that old Ray Hammerhand, numbers on it. You can see on the logo and on the headlights there, it looks like a Viper, like you're ready to eat something up or bite something. It's a pretty sick looking machine, but there's some nice looking machines out here for the season opener here. As we can see, the number 7 machine up front here, and we also got Brad Delph in the number 6 machine. We do got Steven Stempian in that Bud machine right there, and old Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s paint scheme. So we got a lot of guys just hanging out back here. And one thing that I did notice here, Sam, is look at the room that these guys are giving each other through the turns. I mean, they are not on top of each other. They're not trying to push hard. It's just that they're out there just, I think it's just a joyride right now.
I mean, for some of them, that really is what this race is turning into, of just relax, settle in, and wait until it's your time to come into pit road and make your final pit stop of the race. We find ourselves with just that of going to be 37 laps to go here tonight in this race. And with that amount of laps, all the drivers that have made their pit stop, even if it was under the last caution, still need to make one more pit stop before this race is done. And especially for everyone that's in our top 10, Robert, currently right now, they are going to be forced into pit road in the next 10 to 15 laps.
Yeah.
And the sooner they come into pit road could be the better, because it could give them plenty of time to recover if they have a bad pit stop.
Yeah, we'll give them time here. As you can see here, we're only on lap 64, and like you said, the next 10 around lap 75. Somewhere around there, these guys should be hitting their last and final pit stop to run this thing out. But yeah, if they have a mess up, hopefully they can bounce back and stay out front and at least stay on the lead lap. Because passing people on on the track is okay. Of course, you want to do that, but you can win and lose it on pit road too. So that's a key factor. Slide through your pit stall, messing up things like that. So it's something we got to pay attention to.
It certainly is. As we see here from that of the 6 machine. I would say the 9. I'm so used to seeing an all red. You got to flip those numbers around to be a 9 Dodge back in the day. I think this was one of the more fun things, is that's Brad Delph in the 6. Is drivers having fun with this Chevy Impala, because there's no official logo on the Chevy on these cars. Drivers recognize, well, back in the Gen 4 days, a lot of these vehicles, it was just the stickers that differentiated what vehicle they were. It really wasn't the way the cars were designed. So everyone's been having fun. I've seen some drivers with a Ford Fusion bumpers. I've seen Dodge. I've actually seen some drivers think about putting a Pontiac sign on the vehicles. So I love the fact of drivers trying to get a little bit more identity to each car that they're running, and some bringing back schemes that look pretty similar to those back in the day.
Yeah, that's one thing that's cool with these old these old Gen 4 vehicles here. The low horsepower or the high horsepower, you can run any manufacturing that you want on these machines, and however you want to do it, whatever you like, you can do it. So that's pretty cool that iRacing gives you that, capability, and you're not just locked down to one manufacturer.
Yeah, and that goes to the drivers themselves and painters for those drivers, that it's on you to design what the car looks like and you to change up what stickers, the lights package. and make it look designed for the manufacturing that you'd like to show off. A little bit of an update though, as we were talking about, that some drivers having a quick scare. Going to be Steven Stimpian and a few other drivers deeper in the field getting loose and out of control, saving their vehicles, but losing over 6 seconds of time, and have now fallen back into this third pack of drivers completely have lost touch and are now in a desperate spot of needing a yellow flag to come out.
Yeah, way back here. Now, like you said, they're way back in the field here, and it looks like they're about 11 seconds behind. So they're going to have to, try to team up here and start, moving forward here, Sam, because they definitely don't want to fall out too far. Because from what I can see here, if I'm reading this right, they still got to make a pit stop too.
Yeah, everyone in the field still needs to make one more pit stop before this race is over, and it looks to be drivers making the call that pit stops are potentially in their mind, and it is Nick Crawford, Benjamin Nelson into pit road as the field seeing another grouping thinking about coming to pit road, but you see drivers in the grass. That's Nick Crawford sliding through his box, as well as Bob Skinner having issues getting into pit road. Black flag to Bob Skinner for an unsafe pit entry, and he will have to just drive through the box for the 82. But it was former that of Ricky Fast Racing teammates that were having issues, now under the banner of Snowy Desert Racing coming into pit road, and a few drivers from from other teams that were thinking about coming into pit road at the same time. A scary moment as another group comes in to make their pit stop.
Well, pit stops are opening up here. We'll move up to the front and see how this is all going here right now. And yeah, right now it's starting to look looking pretty good here right now for these guys. We got Nolan Hicks now finally up here in the lead and at the Walt machine, so we'll see what he can do here, Sam, and find out if he's when these guys are going to be making their final pit stop on lap number 70 of 100.
Issues for drivers that were trying to come into pit road, as well as other collisions. The third pack I was talking about with Steven Stimpian and others, it's going to be Ryan Crowfoot and Ken Campbell. Contact between those two drivers, as here's another grouping coming into pit road. The 15 required damage, his night could be done, as he's going to have to putter his way into pit road, as well as this grouping of drivers that just entered, being Nolan Hicks, Shane Tarian, getting their stops. They're just going to be a group of 2, and multiple drivers. Black flag for entries. We already touched on Bob Skinner's a black flag for an unsafe pit entry. Nolan Hicks as well with the black flag. He's going to be held for 40 seconds. Dakota Moniz and Danny Cochran all with black flags, unsafe pit entries, and speeding into pit road. Their nights could be done with having to be held and now going a lap, maybe 2 laps down.
Oh boy, that's not good here. Now you're going to have to wait and see, and hopefully bank on as yellow, as we're going to have some other vehicles now coming into pit road here. As we're going to see the Brian in that number 77 machine, he's going to stay out for a little bit.
Yeah, staying out for a little bit longer. Currently, at this moment, top 18 drivers still yet to come to pit road. Malik Kuntz is in pit road. Gregory Smith just exiting out of his box. But this grouping of drivers you see on screen is drivers that are trying to get up to speed the best that they can. Benjamin Nelson, Zach Hall, Joshua Kanata, Christopher Norris that have already made their pit stop. They're trying to stay ahead of our lead lap group that is this cluster, where Cody Reed, also another driver trying to stay on the lead lap, in front of Brian Noel, Cedric Hunter, and the 7 of Douglas Newbegin. We're trying to stay and trying to put some of these drivers a lap down. So if a caution flag was to come out, they would have to take a wave around to get those laps back.
Well, we'll have to see how it all plays out for these guys here, like you said there, Sam. But look who rebounded back. Ross Tatum is bouncing back here right now.
Yeah, Ross Tatum still dealing with some slight right side damage for the 21 machine, but it's been a great job moving forward. He's been inside the top 15, trying to close into the top 10 when we had the whole pack before this pit cycle started up. So the 21 still looking competitive. I don't know if he's got winning pace, but he certainly has the pace for a good finish here tonight, unless we start to see some drivers get caught up in a mess. As looking at this group, actually, everyone that's in this pack, there are only 7 drivers in this group of about 15 that are on the lead lap. That being Cedric Hunter in the 13 machine, then the 7 of Douglas Newbigging, then the 77 of Brian Noel, Ross Tatum, Jonathan Cogswell, Brandon Zimmerman, and Brad Delph are those are the 7 drivers that are on the lead lap of everyone else that's made their first pit stop. I mean, has made their last pit stop of the night as we're closing in on lap 75.
Yep, closing on lap 75 here. 25 laps to go here very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. And like you said, these top 7 here, they're going to have to make another pit stop here very, very shortly as they are out on a pretty long stint here. But now we have the 7 of Douglas. Looks like he's going to take over the lead here and lead 1 lap and get that bonus point and get that out of the way at least. So
yeah, and I'm looking at the drivers currently, the top 7, because of the amount of drivers that are in this group, they're putting down some pretty fast lap times. They're still, again, all going to have to come into pit road. Technically, our top 16 all still need to come into pit road. Those other drivers would be Christopher Wade, Andrew Medlin, Ryan Ferraro, Steven Stimpian, Larry Yingling, Kyle, that of Ryan Kelly, Cole Sicchetti, James Heater, and Devin Brock that are all going to still have to come into pit road. But the question is, I think they all might be banking on a yellow flag to come out because of the fact of how large this lead group has gotten and some of the aggressive moves that are happening. This is looking dangerous for our front runners because right now that 9 of Shane Tarian, he is a lap down trying to get by the 77 who is our leader. As you got lap down drivers, lead lap drivers, all mixed and mingled.
Mixed and mingled left and right, trying to work your way through. Got fresh tires. Full tank of fuel here, and yeah, you can see right now the 7 to 13 are still staying out here, which I'm shocked at. When are they gonna make their pit stop is going to be the question. Now, it's kind of shockingly that they didn't come down and do that pit stop yet. But again, they were on a stint of looks like 34 laps, so they still got a little bit of ways to go.
Yeah, the main fuel window we were given was around 45 laps is the window a lot of these drivers are aiming for, and there's 2 that are in this lead group that are going to be forced into pit road. That's going to be Brandon Zimmerman in the 65 and Jonathan Cogswell in the 27. Those 2 drivers most likely are going to have to come to pit road either this lap or the next. The second pack that's behind this group is, oh no, it's going to be Cedric Hunter, bad bump from Jonathan Cogswell, and it's Brandon Zimmerman and Brad Delph spinning out and bringing out the caution. The timing did not line up, and drivers ran into one another.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, we were waiting for that. And, you get, fast cars on newer tires, on old tires. And unfortunately, it looks like Brad Delph got wrapped up into that one there, Sam.
Yeah, Brad Delph, it was all around Cedric Hunter, who had to really check up on the inside. Other drivers were not aware of how massive the checkup was going to be, and everyone just started piling in. And like we touched on, the bumpers, the rear bumpers to the front bumpers, that rear bumper can get lifted very easily if you're going too fast with the contact. It looked to be the main reason why the 6 got spun around. And this is perfect for everyone that's in our top 9 because it's going to allow them to stay on the lead lap, come into pit road, get their tires, fuel, and be good. It leaves over that of 19 drivers, though, 19th on back. What are the situation are they going to be in? Because we've got to keep our eyes on this. 19th on back, all 1 lap down or more. A majority of the field has already made their pit stop. Some on the lead lap that are not going to have to come into pit road.
Well, let's wait and see here as they're coming down to make their some of them make their pit stop for the very final time here. It's going to be very interesting, Sam, to see what these guys decide to do.
Well, we're expecting for sure our top 9 are going to have to come to pit road because they cannot make it on fuel. It's 10th on back that are the more interesting drivers because everyone that's a lap down, if they've not been able to get ahead of Benjamin Nelson, they could be still trapped 1 lap down if you didn't get the lucky dog spot. So we're, again, keeping our eye out on who's on the lead lap, who's not. Currently, of the drivers that are ahead of Benjamin Nelson, it's going to be from 19th on back. That is Gregory Smith in the 60, Larry Yingling, Cole Sicchetti, Ryan Kelly, as well as James Heater, Ryan Ferraro, and Devin Brock going to be the drivers that are ahead of Nelson. But it looks like Nelson is being told to pass all those drivers. meaning
Whoa.
everyone that is in that of 18th or further up ahead are going to be staying, they're going to find themselves potentially not able to get their, are going to be all the drivers that stay on the lead lap. Everyone from 19th on back could be going a lap down, but it looks to be a little bit of mistake information as the 79 backs off and lets all those drivers on by.
Hmm.
It's getting complicated, Robert. I just
Yeah.
know that. It is getting very complicated. Watching the drivers, you'd think it would be a very simple, process, stay back or move forward. And we got a little bit of complicated there for a second. We'll wait until the 1 to go marker will confirm who's able to move on and stay on the lead lap and who's not. But
Yeah.
coming up to 80 laps to go, and we're still lost on how tonight's finish is going to be.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, it's still opened up for almost everybody. But looking down this leaderboard, what's really caught me, and it's on shame, is Brian P. Johnson in that trophy smack machine. He is 6 laps down. We got Brian Johnson, the other Brian Johnson, 2 laps down. Bob Skinner, 2 laps down. Nick Crawford's 2 laps down. Ken Campbell's 1 lap down. We got Brandon Colley 1 lap down. So this is a very interesting that we got some of these fast drivers caught at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate for themselves. Steven Stempian, note for the 8 machine, his group, which was the 3rd pack we touched on, they all came to pit road right when the yellow flag, they were finishing their stop right when the yellow flag was thrown, which enabled that whole entire group get their pit stops and stay on the lead lap. So the 8 machine getting some more damage repair, and he will be back out on track in 17th position. Everyone, though, I'm still watching on where they're placed, looks to be from 25th to that of 20th. Could be getting at least a lap back. And Brandon Colley, who was 2 laps down, may be able to keep himself at least 1 lap down and would be one of the drivers stuck in a tricky situation where they are hoping to get back on the lead lap. I know we have confusion on who got the lucky dog. I believe that went to the 60 machine of Gregory Smith. He was the first car 1 lap down, so he will find himself getting back on the lead lap with a pit stop and good. A lot of people stuck 1 lap down, Robert, that were hoping that the pit cycle would go all the way through, and it did not.
Well, we'll have to see how it all plays out. Maybe we'll have another yellow. You know how it is when it comes down to the end of these races here. It's anybody's game.
That it certainly is. I mean, we've seen races where the last lap, white flag, gloves are off, and everyone's getting very aggressive and taking each other out. And we saw last season it was Brian Johnson getting himself into victory lane in the 28 machine, and it looks like this season he won't be able to repeat in that fashion. But Benjamin Nelson looking to be the odds-on favorite to watch out on for 79 has been the fastest driver who's been able to stay up front consistently, as drivers have been actually given an extra lap. Looks to be Race Control, who we haven't given a shout out to.
Oh, that's right.
Steve Benjamin. We want to give a massive shout out to Steve Benjamin. I know we forgot to do it earlier. We had a ton of people we had to thank earlier on, and I can't believe it slipped our mind. Steve Benjamin hopping on board for season 7, going to be the race control for all season long. I have heard nothing but great things from the drivers. They have been so happy to have someone up in the booth helping with controlling how pace cars are going, as well as controlling on penalties, so there's no confusion between the admins that are racing and those that are just watching. And as well, huge shout out to Steve Benjamin, who also helps on Tuesday nights for the Full Send Racing Series, hopping on board with WSSR. All the admins have been just praising Steve Benjamin, and we can as well.
Yes. Yeah, it's good to see Steve Benjamin here to do the race control, and we'll have to see how that all plays out. I know he's going to do a great job for these guys, but it looks like here we should be getting ready to go back green here this time by here on lap 82 of 100. So it's going to get heated up here very shortly. You're going to start seeing a little bit of bold moves from drivers, and hopefully we can finish this race out green, but if not, we're going to have to see how this all plays out there, Sam.
Less than 20 laps to go. Going to be 19 when we go back to green flag racing. 25 drivers are on the lead lap. That is Gregory Smith, who's going to be the last driver on the lead lap. Thomas Walter, Malik Kuntz, Ollie Fonseca, Brandon Colley, Nolan Hicks. That's going to be the rest of your top 30. All still stuck 1 lap down. Joining them is Ryan Crowfoot, Ken Campbell, Tyler Dangler, and James Kaufman, all 1 lap down. And whoever is the furthest ahead, who does not get involved in the next yellow, could get that lucky dog spot. It'll be very crucial to give them a second chance at running for a win here tonight. But we're getting ready to go green. Pace car lights are off, and it's Benjamin Nelson leading the way for the 79 on the inside, Zach Hall on the outside, as we see Barney the flagman ready into the restart zone, and we are green for the Daytona Bump and Run 250 presented by Lids. And it's all the outside looking a lot cleaner. Zach Hall, Christopher Norris trying to bump draft their way forward, but Benjamin Nelson just with raw speed, keeping himself a nose ahead for now. But through the center of the corner, it's the bump drafting from the teammates on the outside.
Yeah, well, you can see Christopher Norris there on the teammates lost a little bit of that bump draft, and now he's going to start pushing again. But that's going to give the inside lane of there Benjamin a little bit of a catch up, and they're going to go side by side going down into turn 3 here, Sam.
Into that turn 3. Also, Benjamin Nelson, a part of the Snowy Desert Racing team. Zach Hall, Christopher Norris, Nick Crawford, Benjamin Nelson, who have been in the control catbird seat for the majority of the night. It's going to be that of Nick Crawford, who is not to be found very close up front. But his other teammates doing a great job leading both lanes currently. As we find ourselves, start of lap 83 of 100. We're losing touch on the laps, which means the aggression level is about to raise. And some drivers we haven't really talked about all night long, now back into the mix. The 7 of Douglas Newbegin, going to be the biggest driver. I'm curious, what aggression does the 7 want to show out as well for the other drivers behind him of Noel and Noah Steele? We're seeing aggression being shown by some of these drivers. Will it continue to raise? We're coming up to 84.
We're coming up to 84 here, and we're going to see right now, we're riding with Benjamin here as Zach Hall went down. Now, I wonder if this is a team move here where you're going to have Christopher Norris take care of the top side and Zach Hall take care of the low line there, Sam.
I mean, it's going to be curious to see which one feels the most comfortable on who's leading. Benjamin Nelson's been feeling good leading the way, but maybe a call on air with Christopher Norris being so close in the back bumper of Zach Hall. So we haven't talked about that is engine temperature. If you're riding too close to the driver in front of you, your engine temperatures can raise to a level that you actually can blow up your engine, and it could be causing some fatal damage that could ruin your night. And Christopher Norris might have given the call to Zach Hall, hey, I need some air on my nose. Okay, I'll drop down in front of our other teammate of Benjamin Nelson.
We'll have to see here as Benjamin is teammates. So we got first, second, third, fourth all in team right here. Holding the front lines right now here, Sam, but I don't see how long that's going to last as they are on lap 85 of 100. I don't see that lasting very long. Drivers in the back are going to start getting a little antsy, and they're going to want to start pushing forward.
Absolutely. And also the thing I've got to throw out is who's going to be willing to force 3 wide racing. They tested the limits at the end of, coming to the end of our competition caution at the end of lap 30. We saw drivers testing 3 wide. That's what caused our first big wreck of the night. Who else would be willing to throw it to the outside is Christopher Norris now leading the inside lane. He's got 3 teammates in line. Benjamin Nelson, Zach Hall, and Christopher Norris, and now it's Cody Reed in the 52 leading the outside lane with the 7 of Douglas Newbegin and Brian Noel following as well in 77. Brad Delph, who was just caught up in that last incident, used his fast repair. The 6 is still in the fight as well. 4th car on the outside.
Oh, he still had his fast repair. Well, that's good for Brad Delph. He's going to try to push way up, and maybe he can get a win. Man, who knows who can get a win here tonight as we're just getting down to the nitty-gritty here. I just see things heating up here within the next 5 to 10 laps here, Sam. Things should start really heating up, and like you said, who's going to be that first driver to take a 3 wide? Or do you got somebody that's willing to go 3 wide and not stick you out there on the outside or in the middle all by yourself?
I mean, there is certainly a cluster of drivers. I would not be surprised that are about 6, 7, 8 cars on the outside, further back on the outside lane that look to be strong. Jonathan Cogswell, Steven Stimpian, Cedric Hunter, Dakota Moniz. Those 4 drivers, I've seen them be very fast at other tracks and other cars. I wouldn't be surprised if they decided, you know what, now's the time. Let's bounce to the outside. Key thing for them to watch out for is not to make the move too soon. We still have over 10 laps to go, coming to 13 when they come across the line, and if you make the move too soon, you can put yourself in a hole where you cannot recover. And it looks to be a little bit more momentum, a little bit more movement being shown around that group as Ross Tatum now joins the middle of that pack. And I know, Robert, a lot of the drivers up front, they look quick. It could be someone deeper in the field. It still has a chance to win tonight.
Oh, most definitely deeper in the field. You just got to pick and choose your timing of when you want to pass and where you want to pass at here. So these guys all the way in the back yet are not out of it. You can start as, all right, now we're going to start seeing 3 wide to number 7. It's going to look like the Rosa Gem team there, I do believe. Or who is that in the number 7? Yeah, that's the Rosa Gem machine there looking to go on the high side 3 wide, and that's what I was afraid of. Now, who's going to ride along with the 52? It looks like Brad Delph is going to try to push that 52, and we are now 3 wide, Sam.
Yeah, this is going to be the team of the Lucky Duck Motorsports. Douglas Newbegin, Cedric Hunter, Jonathan Cogswell, and Brian Neal going to be those drivers to watch out for. You've got 3 of the 4 on the outside lane. Steven Stimpian might be thinking about putting a nose up there, not able to do so. And for that of Benjamin Nelson, recognizing what situation was about to mount up, moves to the middle lane, and the 79 now having the nose above as there's a lot of bumping action going on. And Robert, the last time we saw 3 wide, it brought out the caution back at lap 30. We could be seeing another one here as we're closing on with 11 laps to go.
Well, 11 laps to go, and looking where we got Cedric Hunter, we got Steven Stempian now going to push Brad Delph up there, and them 2 drivers know each other very well, Sam, from previous experience in another league that they used to run together with each other, so they know how to work. But like you said, yeah, last time we seen 3 wide, it didn't turn out so well, so we'll have to see how this all works out, because right now, that 7 and 77 with all the 7s are stuck out all by themselves right now. Now it looks like Cedric Hunter might try to move up to the high side.
And that is going to be another teammate from that Lucky Duck Motorsports team, with Cedric Hunter joining his 2 other teammates on that 3rd lane. The more drivers you have in line, the better the airflow, the faster that lane is going to be. The more drivers that we have in line, though, is going to be on the inside that cannot carry the momentum as best as they would like through the corner. It's the middle lane that's going to be able to carry the momentum, as a slight contact between the 7 and the 52, but they hold steady for now. But lap car in front of them, this isn't going to be good, Robert.
No, it's not going to be good. That lap car in front of him is going to have to figure out where he wants to go. You got 3 wide here. You got Zach Hall now looking underneath the Christopher, and it looks like they're going to catch him at the perfect timing.
Woo! Yeah, we love the apron. It allows lap cars on the way off the pace to get out of the way, and able to do so as the field continues to ramp up the aggression. 10 laps to go, soon to be 9 when they come across the line, and it's going to be Benjamin Nelson, Christopher Norris leading the way in that middle and inside lane. It's that 3rd. They need a couple of more drivers to join the 7 and the 77. Yes, Brad Delph joining is good, but they might need about 3. They might need more than just 3 drivers if they're going to have enough momentum to make the pass on that 3rd lane.
Well, we'll have to see here. They got to get more vehicles up there right now.
Oh,
there's
no!
the bump bump.
Ross Tatum right into 52, and it's clobbering time for the rest of the field coming through the pack. No one able to slow down in time. And that is a massive collision for Cody Reed, as well as Cedric Hunter and others, as we bring out the late caution that's going to stack everyone up for a 5-lap dash to the end.
Oh, boy. And we were talking about it, Sam, and unfortunately we just seen it. And look who just put down the fastest lap of the race. Tyler Dingler on lap 86 put down a 44.285.
I mean, that Rocket Man award, it's crucial now. I mean, when you're one of those further back drivers, gives you the chance to really put down a burner lap, and the 19 stealing it from that of going to be, I believe at the moment, The fastest driver that had it before Tyler was his teammate of Nolan Hicks. So it's just teammates swapping that bonus point to grab at the end of this race. But touching on drivers caught up in this most recent wreck, Brad Delph with the biggest collision and with required damage for the 6th machine. He is going to be forced into pit road. Brad Delph had already used this fast repair, Robert. The 6th, if it's not too bad of damage, it might be required damage that's maybe just that of 35 to 40 seconds. He could stay in this race, but if it's anything more than that, his night could be done.
Yeah, unfortunately, we'll have to see here if it's requested or if he can just get a little bit fixed with 8 laps to go and maybe get out there and finish off this race. We'll have to see here as he's going to be heading into pit road here very shortly.
As drivers making the decisions, do you come into pit road or not? If you do not have damage, you're most likely just going to stay out on track, keep the track position. As we've seen the 3rd lane be utilized, we've seen the middle lane be quick, but at this end of the game, you need the best track position possible if you're going to be going for a win. Other drivers joining Brad Delph going to be Cole Sketty into pit road for the 42. He's been having a long night of just trying to get repairs and get back on the lead lap. Luckily, he is on the lead lap. A lot more damage repairs to be grabbed. Joining them as well, Joshua Kanata, Brad Zimmerman, and many of others deciding to get repairs done before they can get themselves stacked up and ready to go. This race should be a little up to 5 or maybe 4 laps to go once we go green, which Robert, it's no longer just saying it's crunch time. This is it. You need to get up front, and if we get another caution, we're going to overtime.
Well, we'll have to see how this all plays out here, Sam, if they're going to wind up going, into overtime. And how many attempts do we have?
I believe we do have 3 attempts if needed, if we do have head into overtime. And I would imagine drivers up front, they don't want that. I wanted this race to finish out clean and green from here on out. But if your drivers further in the field, you're hoping for a lot more wrecks, so more people are out of this race.
Very true, very true. But we'll have to see how this all plays out. Eventually, hopefully, we will see how this all plays out here and who's going to get the season opener. And I'm telling you, I don't want to. Well, maybe I just already did. I opened up the floodgates. But right now,
no.
Christopher Norris is up here leading the race. And what a turnaround we've seen from this driver. He's running in the top 3, top 4 over in another league that he's running in. He's got a win already. Can he open up tonight here and beat off Benjamin, Zach, Steven Stempian, Ross Tatum, all these drives, Shane Tarian, all these guys, Andrew Medlin? Can he hold them off? Can he get a victory and lock himself into the playoffs? Very interesting.
Yeah, and something we actually haven't touched on because it's pretty far out there. The playoff system, slightly different from others. Last season we went to the chase format where they had 5 races. Whoever had the most points after those 5 races won the championship, where Larry Yingling found his way to doing so. This season, we're going to be actually going back to bracket playoff elimination style. So we will be back to the drama of counting points after 2 or 3 races and see who's in, who's out, or moving on. And Robert, I think that's probably my favorite way of seeing the playoffs. I know for the drivers, it's a lot more intense, but I love the fact of the playoffs and how much it's important to continue your consistency, race in and race out.
Yeah, consistency, race in and race out. I agree with you there, Sam, but oh boy, hang on, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to get extremely crazy. Let's hope that they can keep cool heads, keep cool, calm, and, deal with it after the race, and finish green flag here, and we don't go into any overtime attempts. But I don't know. We're at Daytona, and Daytona is known for it, and we've seen a couple yellows there, Sam, and but not the big ones, not the ones that I thought that I'd see. The big wreck, the big crash yet, where that possibility could still happen.
I mean, yeah, I feel like the last couple of ones haven't been as bad. That first wreck was a gnarly one.
Yeah.
That one took out quite a few drivers that have to use their fast repairs. I think now, if we do see a big one, we're going to be seeing a lot of drivers finally calling it a night. We've had 40 drivers joining to start this race. No one has officially called it a night. Everyone is still out on track. Brian P. Johnson is still the last driver on course, being 6 laps down. But kudos to the field. We've been able to keep everyone on track. But Robert, mostly when we talk about those numbers, we usually see big ones and drivers calling it a night, as we are back to green flag racing. 5-lap shootout for the Daytona Bump and Run 250 presented by Lids, as Christopher Norris leading the way with Benjamin Nelson, Douglas Newbegin, as well as Zachary Hall up front, trying to steal this win this evening.
Oh, we're going to see if them two can team up, and they also got their teammate leading the race here right now, but we've seen that 7 and 77 be very, very aggressive, and here comes John Forbes, too, somebody that was caught up in a wreck at the beginning and now all of a sudden is back up here in the front, having a chance to get a win.
The question is, who hasn't been involved in a lot of these wrecks?
True.
There's a handful of them that are up front. The majority of the field have used their fast repair at this moment, recognizing this is it. If you're going to have a chance to run up front and you haven't used your fast repair, you got some major damage, use your fast repair now. As they come across the line, it's going to be that of Benjamin Nelson, leading by 15 thousandths of a second, and that was just a nose ahead of Christopher Norris, and that could be the way that this race concludes. It might just have to be a nose ahead of the driver in front of you if you're going to find yourself getting the win here tonight. And to add on to the pressure for these drivers up front, Robert, majority of the drivers that are up front also put a little bit of cash in for the crown jewel prize. For Christopher Norris, Benjamin Nelson, both of them put their hands in the cookie jar, and if one of them wins, they get $123. If they get second, they only get $24. So the pressure's on even more.
That's $100 difference. I would rather have the $100. Yeah, wow, that's a big difference here. As we got 4 laps to go here, Christopher Norris leading on the inside here with Zach Hall's teammate and his other teammate on the outside. And right now,
no, the teammates! The big one strikes, everyone piling in, and it was one bad collision, and they cannot stop piling in. The big one! Remember, you were wondering when it was going to happen? It strikes with 3 laps to go.
Not my fault. Didn't say it. Oh, crap.
Well, I know there's one person in chat that's happy. The driver that's leading that got through it, Steven Stympian. The 8, the 21 Ross Tatum. They look like miracle workers on the fact that they are through that massive collision of our front runners.
That was insane. Holy mackerel. Wow.
That was a bad wreck. Bad wreck. And drivers caught up in this one. James Heater, Christopher Norris, Benjamin Nelson, Devin Brock, Cole Sacchetti, Douglas Newbegin, as well as Malik Kuntz, all with required damage. And there's many more that were caught up in with this wreck that don't have required damage. We talked about drivers maybe being out of this race just with one big one. That could be the end for some of these drivers. Luckily for James Heater, as well as Christopher Norris, Benjamin Nelson, Brock, Devin Brock, Newbegin, and also a few others, they still had their fast repairs in their back pocket, so their race isn't completely over, but they're going to be deep in the field once this next restart happens. For Cole Sacchetti, as well as Malik Kuntz, though, sadly, how heavy their damage was, their race and trying to go for a win here this evening looks to be done and dusted. And on top of that, we are in overtime, our first attempt of 3 if needed.
Yeah, first time of 3 are needed. Boy, oh boy, I feel bad. I just need to learn to shut up, Sam.
No. Embrace the power. Go for it. We have control as commentators.
Right. Apparently we do. Sorry out there, chat. But I also wanted to bring up here as we're getting ready to end this race here, hopefully here very shortly. Second half of this race, we did have we're having a little bit of render lag there, Sam, on the broadcast. So if you see the cars jump and skip a little bit, it has to do with ATVO, and I can't fix it until after the broadcast is over. So, but hey, we made it this far. Let's just ride it out.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing. It's just write it out, hope for the best, and see where this race finishes out. I know in chat, we have a worry and a wonder what happened. Brandon Colley was involved in that incident and was not, because he was involved in the incident, will stay one lap down. He's currently in pit road getting damage repair and fuel and tires. The rest of the field going to be left with a total of 23 drivers on the lead lap. And Tyler Dangler could be the driver who gets the lucky dog and will be able to get back on the lead lap, leaving us with 23 drivers ready to have a chance to win. But I'm looking at some of the drivers that are on the lead lap that are in pit road. And there are a few that are still dealing with some heavy damage. I've talked about Cole Sacchetti. He's just entered pit road, dealing with required damage, still getting himself situated, as well as joining him going to be Benjamin Nelson, who, I mean, Robert, I thought he was my pick to potentially win this race. He's now out. The 7 was my other pick that I thought was going to win. He got caught up in that mess, but luckily had the fast repair. Ooh, yeah. We are now in overtime.
Yeah, and we said it too all night. You really have to be careful how you bump draft here with these vehicles. You get up underneath too much, and all of a sudden you lift that front vehicle up off, and then the wheels actually literally come off the ground, and that car in front of you has no control. You are going for the ride. Either you're going to go left or you're going to go right, and that's just the way these cars are built. So, just a little bit of a love tap. Maybe, Zach Hall was trying to give that little bit of extra push to try to, with the momentum. And unfortunately, it caused the big one.
Well, I mean, I was looking back on the incident, and it was a simple, just Christopher Norris he was going down on the apron, got too far down low, moved back up, and there was just no time to react. Everyone was so on top of one another.
Right.
The bad bumps then ensued, and that's something that happens at super speedways. You get so caught up in that adrenaline that's pumping. You're thinking about, okay, you're trying to think 4 or 5 moves ahead. If I give a bad bump here, will I react? Sometimes you get too far ahead of your thoughts and you make a bad move, and right there, crazy to see the wrecks. And now we have, Steven Stympian leading this race as we're about to get back to green flag racing. Where did he come from? Ross Tatum, who had internet issues, had to throw his 21 machine up into the outside wall to get out of the way because of those issues. He's in second. John Forbes was caught up in that first initial big one. He's in the mix. We just saw Cedric Hunter, who's been caught up in a lot of wrecks. He's in 5th. Noah Steele, who's just been having a quiet night. He's gotten involved with a few wrecks now in 4th. Shane Tarian's up in the mix. Joshua Kanata. I mean, there are a lot of drivers we have not talked about at all tonight that are now in a chance to win here this evening.
We'll have to see. You know what else? Bring us up here. Well, the fastest lap now goes to Brandon Colley on lap 96, 44.198. So now he has the fastest lap of the race.
And that might hold up because these drivers, they're not going to have a lot of time to build up the momentum to beat that time. We'll see if anyone can crush it. We are in overtime. We're about to get back to green flag action. This is how overtime works very quickly. We got 2 laps to finish out this race. If we get the white flag, we will run this one out. The race will become official, and that's who wins. We get a caution on this first lap. We're going to our second attempt at overtime. Let's see who's winning the Daytona Bump and Run 250 presented by Lids. Here we go. Steven Stimpy and Ross Tatum. They get the green flag. It's a lot of bumping on the inside of the 11. Go to the momentum to the 8 of Steven Stympian. You'll love to see the Bud machine up front leading the charge as they head down in turn number 1. It's Steven Stympian, John Forbes working on the inside, Ross Tatum hoping for some help on the outside from Noah Steele, but it looks to be the outside already thinking about dissolving and moving to make a 3rd lane.
Yeah, and again, it's that number 7 machine, and now Shane Tarian's going to dump up on the high side. Now we got Nolan Hicks going on the high side with 2 laps to go here. Steven Stympian is going to have John Forbes down underneath him with Cedric Hunter now bouncing back here. So we'll have to see how this all plays out as, no!
Drivers are having a mess. Some are scrapping behind. They can continue to keep it straight. No yellow flag. I take that back. They're wrecking in that second pack.
Oh, desperate times.
All for desperate measures.
Yeah. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's such a great race, and now it's just starting to turn into carnage, if you really want to know my opinion here, Sam.
I mean, drivers were trying some risky moves, and a lot of that started. Christopher Norris tried to fit the nose where it wasn't going to fit, gave a bad tap to the 3 of Ryan Kelly, got the 3 out of shape, who then sent him to the outside wall in the second pack, trying to slow down. Some drivers reacting and slowing down, others saying, we're in overtime and not lifting, running each other over. And this has sent us into our second attempt at overtime. Few drivers that were caught up in that mess, seeing if anyone else collected it and grabbing some more required damage, and there will. Bob Skinner with required damage having to come into pit road. He had already used his fast repair, so he is done. And Ryan Kelly gonna have to come into pit road. For Kelly, already had used their fast repair, but luckily it was under this stop, under that last, sadly, excuse me, it was under that last stop, so the 3 could be done, joining Cole Sacchetti and many others that have called it a night.
Oh boy, well, slowly but surely they're getting knocked off the wall, with that fly swatter, and not the way these guys wanted to open up their season here. And I'm not sure what track we go to next, but what track do we go to next here?
Our next destination, well, let's take a look for myself as I go to our schedule. Our second destination for these drivers. Hold on. Well, as we're looking at that, Robert, Steven Stempien leading the way.
Steven Stempien is leading the way here, ladies and gentlemen, with 3 laps to go here. Right now, we have a total of 37 lead changes in tonight's event here with WSSR, brought to you by Roasted Gems Coffee. Make sure you go over and check out Roasted Gems Coffee and use the promo code WSSR to get 5% off of any of your coffee orders. And they got some great blends of coffee over there. You name it, they got it. They got it for your laid-back, mellow people. They got iced coffee, I do believe, which you can make iced coffee off of regular coffee. Just a whole bunch of blends. So, again, make sure you go check out Roasted Gems Coffee at over there and use WSSR to get 5% off. But, yeah, so we're waiting for Sam to see where our next destination is, as we got to figure out where we're going next.
Okay, I got it now. It does not get any easier after tonight's race. These drivers head to Rockingham for 150 laps next week.
Oh.
Then the week after that, head to Las Vegas, 2008 Atlanta, and finishing out our first 5 races of the season. These drivers head to Darlington.
Oh,
It doesn't get very easy from
that
here
is a
on out.
tough schedule.
Yeah, and it even gets even harder from there, because after our 5th race, 6-1, they head to Bristol,
Jesus.
old Texas, Legacy Texas in the 09 configuration, North Wilkesboro for race number 8, Sonoma in the old Classic Cup historic layout is going to be for race 9, Dover for race 10, and race 11 will be Charlotte before we find ourselves into the playoffs, which comparatively, I would rather run in the playoff races because those races seem a lot easier than the regular season.
I haven't looked at the schedule, unfortunately. So, what are the playoffs? What are we looking at there?
The playoffs are going to be 6 races in total, 3 different rounds. The first round is going to be 2 races heading to Talladega and Auto Club. That is going to be the first round. Top 16 drivers that make it into the playoffs will run those 2 courses. Then we cut and eliminate down to round 2, where those 2 races for our top 10 in playoffs will be at Kansas and Richmond, before we cut those 10 down to 6 for the championship round, which will be Homestead and Chicagoland.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, I have to agree with you there, Sam. I'd rather run in the playoffs. So, some of these drivers might like that span here in the next 5, 6, 8 races before we hit that playoffs. But there's probably some drivers out here looking tonight going, this win can mean a lot to get to that playoffs, to be, at least locked in, that first round, and not have to battle your way through to be the top 16, to make it in. I'm not saying it's not impossible for these drivers here, but that's a tough span of the next couple races. That is tough, especially next week at Rockingham. That's a tough track just on its own.
That it is, and I've heard drivers that have been already trying to test once they sell the schedule out. that it could be one of the toughest tracks to handle. It feels like you're practically dirt racing on that track. That was what one of the similarities that was given about that track. I don't want to touch it. I'm scared of these cars. That's why I'm up in the booth getting to call the action.
Yep, me too.
It certainly should be a great test of skill for these drivers heading into next week. Before we get too ahead of ourselves, it is time for us to go back to overtime racing. This is our second attempt of 3 if needed. And who's going to win the first race of Season 7 for the WSSR Roasted Gems Cup Series? Let's find out. Steven Stimpy and John Forbes going to be the lead drivers coming across the line. If we make it to the white flag, this race becomes official. No yellow flag will be thrown. But if we get a caution before the white flag, we will go into our third attempt. And it's Steven Stimpy. Good job for the first initial start, but it's John Forbes looking for some help from the wounded 21 of Ross Tatum behind him.
We're going to see what Ross Tatum can do. Shane Terrian's right now going to be looking in that number 9 machine. He's going to try. Here comes Kanata. He's going to try in that 16th and see what he can do, as he's going to be riding right behind here with 2 laps to go here, Sam.
2 laps to go. Coming through 3 and 4 as well. We saw the accident strike that brought us into our second attempt into overtime. But through 3 and 4, they're looking clean. They're trying to go 3 wide, but deeper in the field. Not a lot of movements happening on forward, though. They're wrecking across the line, but we continue to stay green. This race is official as they cross the line. As we continue to race this one out, white flag is out for these drivers, as it's your Roasted Gems white flag for the front. Steven Stimpian with the better help of gonna see Cedric Hunter. John Forbes hoping for Ross Tatum, but he just can't get to the back bumper. They need someone else behind John Forbes.
Oh, and Stempian's going to look to go high on the side. No, he's going to try to do the side draft now, and now we got John Forbes getting pushed by Ross Tatum, and now we got Shane Terry. Oh, my goodness. Hang on, Sam, as we're coming out of turn number 3.
Shane Terrian was hoping for some help out from Cody Reed. No assistance. John Forbes gets loose into Stimpian. They continue to scatter across the line. Cedric Hunter, Shane Terrian, gonna be the front drivers. It's the 13. Cedric Hunter wins the first race of Season 7.
Oh, my God. I was waiting for it, and we just seen it. Another bad bump. You cannot hit on the left side or right side of these cars. They are not the next-gen cars, so, man, what a hit.
I mean, a massive collision between the drivers, the field, trying to find an opening, but it was the 13 with the best momentum. Shane Terrian tried his best to get through, but our top 3, Cedric Hunter, Shane Terrian, and Joshua Kanata, what a finish for themselves. And Cedric Hunter, over the radio, just seems baffled, flabbergasted, not sure how to react, but he is the winner of the Daytona Bump and Run 250 presented by Lids for the 13 machine. And for himself, also Robert, with the win, he also grabs the $223 bag after winning that of the Crown Jewel event.
Oh, what a way to start out your season, huh? I mean, you got Roasted Gems on the machine here, sponsored by Roasted Gems, and then you win the Crown Jewel. You win the season opener, lock yourself into the playoffs. I mean, you couldn't have a better night here.
I don't think you could ask for a better night, and for the 13, he gets to have some fun burning it down here at Daytona. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining with us. The night is not over just yet. We've got the post-race show right after this. We'll talk to our top 3, Cedric Hunter, Shane Terrian, Joshua Kanata, and a spotlight driver right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Freaky Fast Broadcasting for the WSSR Roasted Gems Cup Series post-race show. Race number 1 is in the books, and the Daytona Bump and Run 250 presented by Lids. What a finish you could ask for there. Drivers you thought were going to win weren't able to do so, but instead it went to the 13 of Cedric Hunter. Cedric, congratulations on your win, man. How are you feeling after winning this one?
Relieved, happy, excited. Honestly, I had no idea. I think it was with like 15 or yeah, I probably want to say about 15 laps to go or somewhere around there. We got caught up in a wreck. We kind of just got, if I'm not mistaken, that one was the one where I got like completely ARCA braked, and from that point on, like I thought my race was over. Went in, got my damage fixed. Sat on pit road, did what I had to do, came back out. The car still felt good, and then the last couple laps there, got caught up in another wreck. And then I had no idea what kind of speed my car had at that point. I ended up basically, kind of inadvertently using somebody as a bulldozer with my front end, and I know it gave me front end damage, but obviously by the speed I had there at the end, it must have not been too much. So I'm so happy, man. I haven't been in victory lane in such a long time. It's such a relief. I can't express, I guess, like the feelings that I have. I'm just really happy. Like I said, it's been a while, and new night, new car. And I figured that, this would have been the car where I could have, gone a couple or at least a win this season. And, who would have thought it would have been the first race?
Yeah, I mean, first race to get it done. Also, new team you're part of, bringing in Lucky Ducks Motorsports. How was it running here tonight? I know you were formerly with the Freaky Fast Racing team. That cluster kind of broke away into their own factions. But man, how was it trying to run with the teammates, if possible, here this evening?
It was good. I think that we have a lot of like learning to do with like, well, especially tonight. I feel like in the past well, granted, I ran with the Cat 5 guys for like years, so we kind of always knew what strategies we want to go to and all that stuff coming in. And coming into this race, I guess we didn't really have anything mapped out with the Lucky Ducks guys. And so it was kind of just, let's just go with the flow and see how it pays out. But I think that will be chemistry and stuff like that that will accumulate throughout the season. And I think there'll be great things to come. Hopefully, we can get a couple wins for the team this season, and go win ourselves a team championship.
Well, your last question, and then you can also thank everyone that you like. You won the crown jewel prize here tonight with winning the race. What are you gonna do with the money? And as well, the floor is yours for any shout outs.
Uh, I haven't honestly planned what I was going to do with the money. I really wasn't expecting to win this race. Uh, I guess. I don't know. Well, I mean, I have to renew my iRacing membership, so this will just pay for that, I guess. So, thank you to all the guys that pitched into the pool. You guys allow me to now race for another year, so I appreciate it, everybody. Um, and Yeah, I completely forgot that I know the Lids hat and stuff like that was also part of the whoever wins the race. I completely forgot about that part. Winning the money is obviously really, really nice, but as I told Josh, because he was um, he's congratulating me for winning the money and all that stuff. But I mean, the money is definitely nice and a bonus, but just winning in this league is so hard. Like I've raced here now, this is my 7th season, and I think it's my 3rd win. So I'm more pumped about getting the win than the money. I can go to work tomorrow and make that money. But I can't go out and necessarily win on a daily basis. So really pumped, man. I know your next question is going to be who I'd like to thank, so I'll just skip ahead and do that for you. I'd like to thank everybody in the league. We have a bunch of new faces. I'm super excited to race with, everybody. I recognize or I've seen or raced with everybody in this league now. So we have a great group of guys, super competitive, an absolute stacked field. So I'm really looking forward to just, racing the rest of the season. I want to thank the other admins in the league, as well as our new race control Steve for coming on board and helping us out. I want to thank all the fans out there. I want to thank you two, Robert and Sam, for doing all the hard work that you guys do. I know there's a hiccup with the broadcasting, and I'm, thankful that you guys were able to work hard to find a solution there and bring us, to the broadcast that we all love to go back and rewatch. And then thank you so much to our title sponsor, Roasted Gems Coffee, as well as another one of our sponsors um, is the Wall Smack, which or Trophy Smack. Thank you. There we go. Is Trophy Smack. So thank you to both of them for helping us out this season and going forward.
Well, that is going to be the 13 machine, Cedric Hunter. And Cedric, looking at the history books, this is your 4th win. Last time you got to victory lane was Charlotte in October 22 of 2022. Congratulations on getting back into victory lane, and good luck in trying to carry this momentum in the rest of the season.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Well, as we go from victory lane, let's talk to second place because we got a collection of rookies to talk to. One of them is going to be the 9 machine of Shane Tarian coming away with second place. Shane, congratulations. You come away with second position here. But man, how are you feeling after coming away with this performance?
Tired. It's hot in my house, and I crashed like 4 times. But I'm happy with the P2. I didn't even know what to expect. I haven't even driven these cars at this track yet. So yeah, I was just joking with the guys in Discord. I was like, I'm Casey Kane, so I'm not going to win this race. I'm just going to finish second. And yeah, I kind of spoke it into existence.
You certainly did. We saw a couple of moves. Potentially, you could have thrown it and gone to the outside. You were hoping for more help on the outside, looking for other momentums, positions. How was it running like with this new car, and how are you feeling going into the future of this season? Like you said, you haven't really practiced for this car at this track. Have you practiced at any tracks with this car?
I've raced Charlotte in this car, and this car reminded me of the good old days of iRacing, where I enjoyed myself. So I'm excited to go to these other tracks. Like where we at next week? I think Old Atlanta, no Rockingham, and then so I expect good things for myself at least. I don't know. We'll see. I could be overhyping myself, but I expect to be competitive again for once with these cars because this is back to what I'm used to. How these drive and how these tires handle on this thing. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm excited.
Well, it's been a while since we've seen you on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, Shane. It's a pleasure to see you out there on track. We hope that you are going to perform as well as you're hoping yourself. And before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any shout-outs.
Yeah, I just want to shout out, the controllers and my painter, Matt Muir, and then I guess I could say I'm on Sky Motorsports still. I don't know if I signed up as a team on here, so I'm trying to get those guys over here for the time being. But yeah, and then you guys for broadcast, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. My girlfriend left watching the broadcast 2 laps to go, so I'm gonna go give her crap for that. She doesn't even know where I finished.
Well, have fun with that rundown, Shane. Enjoy your time, and good luck next week at Rockingham.
Thank you.
Well, that's going to be the 9 of Shane Sarian, one of our rookies that we'll be talking with. To the next one, going to be a driver that we've talked to in Monday night, but instead we'll talk to him here on Wednesdays. It's Joshua Kanata in the 16. Josh, congratulations on 3rd place here this evening. Man, how are you feeling after that chaotic run tonight?
Same as the truck series. I'm just glad we survived it. These things are stupid fun, but they're stupid hard to drive, and everyone's bobbing around every other corner, and I'm just glad we got through it in P3.
Well, getting through it seemed to be the big thing of the night. How was it trying to recover at times that we saw a lot of drivers getting caught up in messes and you yourself having to use your fast repair to get up to this position?
I actually didn't use it. I didn't have a ton of damage from that first incident. I had enough, but I was able to stay out of the worst of it at least, and had a little bit of luck on my side, maybe a little bit of, the iRacing gods, doing what they do. But it was tough getting back through the field, and I knew we weren't going to finish it without that all happening at the end. So I'm just glad we were able to put ourselves in good position. And I feel for John, man. We were hoping we were going to get him into victory lane, but wasn't meant to be.
Well, he still came away with 5th place, so still a strong run for himself. But for you, Josh, we're now heading to Rockingham next week. How are you feeling on moving away from super speedways and taking these cars to the more traditional ovals?
I'm looking forward to not having to go to Daytona again for a little while, but Rockingham is going to be very interesting in these cars. It eats up tires. These things are on ice. We ran a few laps before, and it's going to be a whole different animal next week, and got a lot of practice ahead of us.
Well, we can't wait to see how you're going to perform next week. Josh, before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any shout outs.
Well, thank you guys as always for putting this show on. I always love watching these back, and this will be another one. Thank you to Revline Racing, and we're also working with Snowy Desert and Larson Line there at the beginning. And thanks for everybody for watching, and hopefully we'll be back here next week.
Can't wait for it. That's 16 of Joshua Kanata. Congratulations on third, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
As we go from third place, we go to our spotlight driver, going to be one of the drivers that moved up the most here this evening, the 60 of Gregory Smith. Gregory, it's Sam up at the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. You come away with 8th place here this evening. We saw a lot of ups and downs from drivers throughout the night. How are you feeling coming away with 8th?
Qualifying at these super speedways is not my strong suit, but I'm able to find my way up front pretty quick, and just try to keep the nose clean tonight. I did have to use a fast repair on lap 97, and got ran over on the caution lap, so I thought I just wasted it. Ran pretty much the entire night with a minute and a half, 2 minutes worth of optional repairs, but we were able to have enough power to keep it up there.
I mean, you did a great job at that. Again, 8th place here this evening. We got a pretty large rookie class coming in tonight. What was your expectations coming into this season in a different car than what we've seen here in WSSR, and you getting to race with the competition of this series?
It's definitely something new. I literally just bought this car just to run this series in this league, and I look forward to learning it. I don't spend a lot of time on the sim, but when I do, I try to take full advantage of it.
Well, congratulations again on a top 10 finish. And before we let you go, Gregory, the floor is now yours for any shout outs.
I'd like to thank my main sponsor, Pretty Southern Colors. My wife runs that business, and if it wasn't for her, with 4 kids, man, I don't know if I would ever have the time to be on here and enjoy this time with you guys. But yeah, sums it up. Pretty Southern Colors. That's who I'd like to thank.
Well, that is an awesome sponsor to shout out. Gregory, congratulations on 8th, and good luck at Rockingham next week.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I think there's going to be a lot of on ice skating to come from Rockingham, so it should be interesting, especially with the 39 field car count.
Oh, I'm excited for it. Congratulations and good luck, as that's going to be the end of our interviews this evening. And we're going to see. I don't know if we do have our results,
We'll
but
try.
this is going to be our rundown of the top 10. We'll see if we can bring it up as the drivers, where they finish. Cedric Hunter coming away with the win. He gets a Lids custom hat that he gets to customize, as well as cash on top of getting some great points for the 13 machine. Shane Terrian coming away with second. Third goes to Joshua Kanata. Brandon Zimmerman fourth. A great run for that 65. Excited to see what he's going to bring this season. Of that, a fifth is going to go to the 11 of John Forbes. Tyler Dangler, who at one moment thought he was going to get the fastest lap of the race, instead will come away sixth. Seventh is Christopher Norris. Gregory Smith we got to talk with. And eighth. Ninth is Brian Noel. Steven Stimpian falls to 10th position. Coming out of 4, was leading. And we look at the rest of the field, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of drivers able to recover. Douglas Newbegin caught up in some big wrecks, comes away 12th. Last season's champion Larry England comes away 14th. They didn't really get to talk about the 67 that much here this evening. Colley in 15th. Other newcomers of James Heater in 16th. Andrew Medlin 21st. And we go throughout the rest of the field. I think some of the more surprising finishes could be from some of the newcomers that we were expecting big things from. Nick Crawford back into racing, but it's 29th finish of Benjamin Nelson. Big surprise from a driver that was dominating the first 3/4 of this race. Season 1 champion of Brian P. Johnson coming away in 37th. And Robert, gotta say, wild night for a lot of these drivers. But man, was it exciting having to use our 2 overtime attempts. And instead of just 100 laps, we ran 107.
That is correct. Yep. Yeah. What a race, man. We seen we were noting on it all night. Sam watched the bump drafting, and the guys did pretty decent there until the end. And unfortunately, some people are at the wrong place at the wrong time. But overall, it's a Daytona race. It's not the end of the season. It's race number 1. You know, you pack your stuff up and you start heading to Rockingham, and you start practicing there. From what the feedback you got, Sam, and we just heard it there with Smith saying that it's an ice ring. So you got to get some laps in and make sure you understand what that car is going to do on a short run and a long run. As that car, this car is gonna it's going to be a handful next week, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you tune in next week for that race at 8:50 here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, and hopefully, next week and hopefully tomorrow we'll have our old platform back up, SDK, with some new graphical stuff that we are working on and things like that, and be able to go back to the way the broadcasting used to be that we're used to doing, and give you some coverage. But we do appreciate everybody sticking around here tonight, watching the race, and enjoying the old times of 2018 overlay here at Freaking Fast Broadcasting. But that's all I got to say, and we'll see everybody tomorrow night, Sam.
Yeah, tomorrow night going to be the first race of the Stars and Stripes series. It's going to be their 7th season starting up. For myself and Zach Hall, we'll be up in the booth for that race. Going to be same cars, Gen 4s at Daytona. Going to be less laps, but man, same exciting experience we should be seeing. Cannot believe that we got to see Cedric Hunter win. We needed 2 attempts. A lot of drivers going to be having to come away from this race, rebound to an even harder track at Rockingham next week. Can't believe that the season's already back. I'm excited that it is. For myself, Sam Dyer, Robert Moyer, who had to do some double duty tonight of commentating and producing. Thank you so much, Robert, for everything that you did here tonight just to get this stream rolling. I know it was a lot of hard work and we appreciate it. And to the fans that were watching, thank you for being patient with us until we were able to get the broadcast rolling. And for everyone else that got to rewatch the broadcast, welcome. Hopefully you're ready for our next broadcast. It's going to be tomorrow night, Stars and Stripes, Gen 4 at Daytona. We'll see you then for our next Freaky Fast broadcast.